Hey, hi there. In this video, we are going to see how to handle a CSS type multi-select dropdown using a combination of Selenium and Java. Okay, so here I am at my IDE and I have already written the code to start my WebDriver, right? To start my browser. And for this video, again, we would be using the Semantic UI website. Okay, so let's open the Semantic UI website and search for a multi-select dropdown. Let's use this one, skills. Right, let's inspect it and look at it first. Okay, so I can see that this is a div tag. So this is a modern dropdown. So it's a modern select dropdown, or rather modern dropdown. Let's open this up. I can see a select inside the div tag. So my first thought is like, why not use this select itself, right? Right, extract this select web element, feed it to the select class in Selenium and work with it. So but there is something going on. Let's open this once. So okay, so the strange thing over here is that when I am pointing to these options, like, right, there is no highlight in my screen. Say example, when I'm pointing to the div class, pointing to the div, there is a highlight over here, right? This skills is getting highlighted. Okay, I'm searching for state. Okay, still there is no highlight. So yeah, when I'm pointing to the div, this skill section is getting highlighted in my screen. Same thing happens when I go up or down, right? But when I'm pointing to these options tag, nothing is getting highlighted. So probably these are not interactable elements. Okay, next let's look at what actually are the interactable elements. So okay, so interactable elements seems to be in these. Okay, now okay, these are the interactable elements because these are getting highlighted. That's a way of finding interactable elements. Not always accurate or not always 100% true, but yeah, it gives you an idea, right? So let's test this theory out. Let's first try and get these options using the select class. Okay, so I'll go back to my IDE and then write my XPath. Okay, so here I am searching for the first div tag. Okay, let's verify this. Hope this is the right XPath. Hello, Control F. Hello, Control V. Okay, this is not the right XPath. What's wrong? Okay, I'm missing something. Okay, so now this is the right XPath. So I'm getting this. Next, I will create a select class and feed this select web element to it. Okay, now let's try to select one of the available items. Let's try this out and see what we get as an output. Okay, so I got one test case failed. Let's go back and so starting from driver, please see element should have been select but was dev. Okay, this is something that I was not expecting. Okay, sorry, I did not extract the select class. Let's do that quickly over here. Okay, now let's try it again. Okay, so I get one test case failed again. Let's go back and check what happened this time. Okay, so element is not interactable element is not currently visible and may not be manipulated. So, in conclusion, we can say that we will not be able to use the select method. Then what can we do? Right. So, yeah, we can always default back to the method that we used while we are trying to access the single select CSS dropdown. That is, follow the manual steps, or rather, the follow the manual clicks. So we have already clicked on this. Next, we'll try to click on one of these options. And for that, we need these div tags rather than these option tags. Okay. Okay. So first, let's get all the available items for selection. For that, what we can do is like okay, as we already have this div class extracted, right? We have it extracted as drop down, right? We can go ahead and search for all elements having classes item within this div tag, right? Within this div web element. So for that, I will do this. Okay, so here I have searched for web elements in my drop down element by class name item, and I'm storing that in a list of named drop down elements. Let's just print this out and check. So I'll do okay. So I did for each, and I did an dot get text for every element. Let's run this and check. One test case passed, and let's check the console output. Okay, so here I have all my options printed out. So this worked. Next, let's try and select a few elements. And for that, what I can do is search for the element that has to be selected within the drop down element that I've already extracted. Right. So let's select, let's say, yeah, let's select Ruby UI UX. Okay. Simple selections. Let's do that. Okay, so here I am searching within my drop down element, web element. I'm searching for another web element that has data value equal to Ruby, and then I'm clicking on it to select. Let's run this. Okay, so one test case passed, and here I can see that my three selections have been done. Okay, so next let's look at ways of extracting what has been selected, right? We can, like, during our test execution, we won't be around, we should not be around rather, to check whether these have been selected or not, right? So let's do that in the script. So again, since we cannot use the inbuilt select class for doing the select operations, we do not have any inbuilt function that would give us the selected items. So what can we do? Let's first look at the changes that takes place within this div element when we do a selection. So here I selected Python. Okay. As soon as I selected Python, I can see that an A tag, anchor tag, was added over here. Let's select one more and confirm that. Yes. So once we are selecting something from the div class, from the div tag, it is getting added below this I tag, right, as an anchor. So what we can do over here, we can actually write a locator that will get me all these anchor tags that is just below the I tag, right? Or rather, I would say that is a sibling of I tag. So once again, I cannot stress on the importance of XPath or importance of being an expert with XPath and CSS for handling dropdowns, or rather, you would need that extensively while working with Selenium again, right? So I would say practice that as much as you can. Okay, so let's create the XPath. I like working with XPath, so let's create the XPath to derive these two anchor tags. Okay, so here I have created the XPath. I'm searching for first an I tag, which has a class dropdown icon, right? That I have from here. I have searched for I tag, which has a class as dropdown icon. Then I am trying to get all the following siblings, right? So I'm trying to get all the siblings of this I class that follows this. So I'm trying to get this, which is an A tag that is having a data value and also contains a class that has UI. Okay, now let's print this out. Okay, now let's run this and hope we got everything right. Okay, let's look at logs. Ruby UI design user experience. These got printed twice, I guess. Okay, let's put a demarcator over here and run it again. Okay, now we would be able to differentiate between the outputs easily. Okay, Ruby UI user experience, these were selected. Cool. Now let's do the final step and try and deselect these selected items. Okay, just a small correction over here. In my previous activity, when we were using the XPath, we used at the rate class and a UI class locator over here, right? Instead of that, let's just use transition, because I just noticed that using UI, it gave us few extra web elements which were just blank and they were not printed. Okay. Okay, so in order to deselect, what would we have to do? Let's go to the UI and check that once. So I see over here an X icon. Clicking on that deselects it, right? So let's add view over here. Let's inspect this X icon itself. So this is what I need to click, and it is inside the A tags. And in our last activity, we already extracted these A tags, right? So what we need to do is click on each and every X icon within that extracted web element. So I'll go back to my IDE and over here do this. Okay, so here I am iterating through each and every web element in my selected drop down list and clicking on the delete icon by using the class name locator. Let's run this once. Okay, so we can see that they were selected and then they were deselected. Fine, so that's all for this video. I would suggest that you practice this as much as you can. and try using other drop downs also. There is a huge list over here of all different types, and if you have trouble operating anyone, please do add in the comment below so that I can have a look into it, right? Thank you and hope you have a good day.